Hello, this is the introduction to Mr. Roth's Algebra 2 class. We're going to go over the course overview, in other words, what is the course about and what are some of the expectations that I have for you. So first of all, before we even get started, make sure that you're looking at the syllabus. So if you don't have it, pause the video, open the syllabus by clicking the Algebra 2 Files button on the Algebra 2 page for Mr. Roth's Math page, which you, of course, can find through the ISS website. And then you can follow along on the syllabus as the video plays. We might not go in the exact same order. We might cover some different things, but it might be helpful as well. Finally, usually when we watch a video, you want to take notes. Here, pretty much everything's on the syllabus, but you might want to underline or highlight or even jot down some notes on the syllabus or in your notebook if something jumps out at you and you think it might be important, or if there's something that I say that you have a question about, write it down so that in class, the next time we meet, you can ask the question. All right. Then on the homework file, on the form, I want you to read the questions. All right. So before you watch the video, you should read the questions. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and pause it, read the questions. Don't answer the questions, just read the questions. You think you know the answers? Watch the video anyway. Again, take notes when you're watching the video. Your homework on a daily basis or whenever we meet is not going to be marked complete unless you have notes that go along with it. This helps me to know that you not only watched the video, but that you watched with a purpose and that you took down the important information, that you were actually thinking instead of just hitting the play button or just skipping it and moving on to the questions. So class rules and expectations. So rules, I only have two rules. The first one is be nice, and the second one is very similar, be respectful. I'm not asking that you are friends with everybody. I'm not asking that you go out and party together all the time and that you sing Kumbaya together. But I do expect you to be nice and be respectful to everybody. Everybody deserves that. So my expectations. Be on time every day. That means on time and it means every day. You should be in class every single day. Don't miss class. And be on time. Complete all of your assignments, every single one of them. You don't get to skip any. You have to do them all. If you don't complete and show understanding for an assignment, you're not going to be allowed to move on to the next assignment. I won't even grade it. I won't even look at it. You need to show me that you understand everything. So work for the sake of learning. So when I was a student in high school, I often just cared about my grade and I did enough to get the grade that I wanted. But that's not how I want you to approach this class. I want you to work for the sake of learning. Actually try to learn the material. Whether you care about learning it or not, I want you to try to learn it. Maybe this will be your favorite subject. Maybe it'll be your least favorite subject. Whatever it is, work for the sake of learning. I'm not interested in you just getting the work done for the sake of keeping busy. I'm interested in you developing your problem solving and mathematical skills and competency. That's my job as your math teacher. And I want you to do your best. Try your hardest. Don't take shortcuts. Don't look up the answers. Don't copy, because you're not going to be working for the sake of learning. Don't take shortcuts. Just learn. I'm going to be talking to you every day. I'll know whether you know the material or not. So just don't take shortcuts. When you're doing that, you're going to have to learn the difference between exercises and problems. Exercises are the practice questions that you're given where you might be given 10, 15 questions. They're all kind of similar or they're all practice of things that we've done already in class versus the idea of a problem. All right? For the exercises, I don't mind that if you look up the answer. I don't want you copying all the work. I want you thinking and trying to get to that answer. But I don't mind you looking up the answer to see if you're right or to help lead you in the right direction. I'm fine with that. For the problems that we do, the deep problems that might take a whole class period or several class periods, some of the problems that we do, you might be able to find the answers on the internet. Don't do it. Don't look for the answers. You're just cheating yourself. Trust me, you will be very happy with yourself if you actually work hard and solve these problems. So this is the first video in the flipped classroom that I'm going to be doing for you. And in a flipped classroom, the lesson or the lecture happens at home. So I'm recording these videos to give to you at home. So you watch them at home, you take notes, and you do all of the introductory stuff at home, right? And then when you come into class, you have your notes, you have questions ready to ask on stuff you didn't understand, and then we can either do more practice problems in class when you're around other students and the teacher to be able to help, or we're able to do big problems that you can then really dive deep into the mathematics that's going on. So we're going to be giving homework every day. Sometimes I might even give you homework on days that we don't meet. The homework will consist of a video, of a lecture or a lesson, and you'll need to have the internet in order to watch this video. If this continues to be a problem of you not being able to access the internet, we'll have to figure out another solution, maybe putting the video on a flash drive for you or something like that. But you're going to have to watch it outside of class. Then that's going to be followed by basic, easy questions to test basic understanding. Did you really watch the video? Do you understand just the very basics? Nothing deep and thoughtful here. And then sometimes I'll give you some extra practice problems at home, especially if I feel like it's something that, we need to move on, but I also need you to get that extra practice in. That would be like a more traditional math homework assignment that you've probably done, since you were at least in 6th grade. Okay, sometimes I might just suggest it to you, like do these problems if you feel like you're struggling, you need more practice, or sometimes I might say, no, you need to do this. So while we're in class, you're going to be working in groups a lot. I'm often going to group you by level of understanding. Sometimes you'll choose your own groups. You'll say, you know what, I don't understand this. I'm going to go sit in the I don't understand this group. Or I got it, no problem, I'm ready to move on, and you'll sit in that group. Sometimes I might put you in groups. I might say, okay, you sit here, you sit there, you sit there, and you'll work in those groups accordingly. Okay? Then you're going to also, during class, do practice. You're going to do some non-routine problems, which is actually the most fun thing to do. And then we're going to do a lot of projects. At the end of every unit, we'll have projects to complete. So here I'm going to show you how to use the website. If you've already accessed this video, you'll probably know how, but maybe you didn't see everything that there is available to you, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. So to get to my website, you're going to go to Secondary Mr. Roth, and then for you, you'll click on the Advanced Algebra 2 page, and you can scroll down and you can find various things that'll keep you up to date. So you click on the Algebra 2 files, and you can get here, that's the syllabus. For Unit 1, you'll find documents in there, classwork or homework. You can also get to this assignment list from that folder. All right, back to the web page. You'll see on the right the upcoming events. Right now it's just full of class, although there's one homework assignment on it. You can also go down in the calendar, see the same information. You can actually get to the homework assignment from the Google Calendar. If you want to add the Google Calendar, the class Google Calendar to your own Google Calendar, you can email me and I'll share you on the Google Calendar, so you don't actually have to check the website all the time. And once you click on the assignment, you can go over here and read all the questions and then and watch the video, etc. So hopefully you already know how to do that because you're doing it. So that moves me on to assessment and grading. First of all, I want to let you know that I hate grades. I think they're stupid. I love learning, I love being challenged, and I love attacking new, challenging problems. I find a lot of joy in that. I know not everybody does, but I do, and I hope that I can at least get you guys to enjoy it a little bit. But even though I hate grades, I have to give grades. So at the end of the day, I do have to give grades, but that's not really what I'm all about. I'm all about learning. So at the end of during each unit, you will be given learning targets that you need to work towards mastery of, and I'm going to continuously assess your progress towards the mastery of that learning target. At the end, so that's going to be every day, all the time, and then at the end, I'm going to give it's called a summative assessment at the very end, where I'll give you a test and a project to see what you did learn. Really what I'm looking at is, did you master the learning targets as well as you should have and could have? All right, then that I'll turn into a grade somehow, but I really don't want you asking me about your grade, because I don't care. I hate grades. I care about you learning. You can ask me about your learning. You can say, do you think that I've learned this as well as I could? Or what do you think I can do to learn this, meet this learning target better? Those are great questions. But what is my grade, or will this affect my grade, or what was my grade on this particular assignment? Those questions will drive me crazy. All right, so what is Algebra 2? Almost at the end of this video, guys. So essentially it's a continuation of Algebra 1. So wherever you left off in Algebra 1, you keep going, and that's Algebra 2. So it's a prerequisite for pre-calculus, which is really just a continuation of Algebra 2. It means different topics in different schools because what gets covered in an Algebra 1 class might differ in different schools. But essentially, in Algebra 2, it's the study of functions. That's the most important thing. You learn about functions and the graphs of functions and what different graphs of different functions look like. And then which functions that we cover, though, again, that looks different in different schools. So we also learn how to solve more complex equations. In Algebra 1, you may have learned how to solve 1 or 2 or 3 different kinds of equations. Here, we're going to be learning how to solve different equations as well as systems of equations. The textbook. You might be used to a teacher teaching you and then giving you homework in the textbook. I hardly ever use textbooks. Every once in a while, maybe I'll get something from a textbook. I'll use it as a resource from time to time, but I don't let the textbook guide my curriculum. So essentially, if you're following along in the textbook, you'll notice that I do things in a different order, or I might take this topic out, or I might put this topic in. And that's just because from my own experience teaching, I know what I think is important for you to learn, and I know where you're heading in your next couple years. The people who wrote the textbook don't know any of that. So, you should have a textbook just in case I do assign some problems in it, but don't get confused if we're going in a different order. What we will cover. All right. So we're going to cover functions: linear, exponential, logarithmic, quadratic, trigonometric, and maybe if we get to it, we'll cover rational functions. What kind of equations are we talking about? We'll learn how to solve linear, exponential, quadratic, including complex numbers, and again, if we get to it, we'll learn how to solve rational equations. We're going to look at systems of equations and inequalities, and we'll look at matrices. And that will cover what we need to do in order to be able to be successful in pre-calculus. That's the end of this video. Go ahead and answer the questions. Make sure you turn in the form. Don't answer the questions then, forget to turn it in. And get this done by Tuesday. So please do it Monday night so that before school on Tuesday it's already done, because you will have another assignment to do on Tuesday night. Thank you for your time. I'll see you on Wednesday. But you're welcome to come ask me questions tomorrow if you want.